Alright, I've been working on this pan. I pretty much got it shaped out like I want it, somewhat. I'd say maybe 75%. I still got some working and cutting on to do. I'm gonna go ahead and I done scribe me a line, and I'm gonna cut out right here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just cut a line and stop about right in there, because I got this little hump that goes up. I cleaned it out, you know, with a wire wheel and everything. It's pretty pitted, so kind of scared that I'd burn through it with a welder, man. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave some extra material in here to work with. What I'm gonna do is probably maybe come off this about an inch or so, and then come around like that. That'd leave me an inch or so material I could fold up on, and pretty much take care of that. I've got it. The board pretty much cut out. If you can see what I was talking about a minute ago, see how that's all pitted and everything right there? I mean, I could leave it. I could put some of that stop rust shit on it, and it'll stop it from rusting any further. But move this out of the way. You know, I still got to come up, have material to come up here to weld to. So I'm going to have to weld around that. And I'm kind of scared. As pitted as that is, I'm pretty sure I'm going to blow right through it. So I think I'm going to leave some extra material and just kind of hammer around it with some body hammers and shit, and do a little shaping, pliers, and you know, just use what you got, man. I'm kind of jumping back and forth from driver's side to passenger side on these, so I don't know if I'm gonna make them all one video. I might as well, because ain't no sense in making two videos on changing floor pans. It's all pretty much the same way about going about doing it. So what I'll be doing is jumping back and forth from left side to right side, and give you guys a pretty good idea about how you want to do it. I'm going to spot weld mine in. I mean, you could drill holes and use pipe rivets or whatever, or metal screws if that's all you got and that's all you can afford right now, man. Then you know, do it. I've done it. It's no big deal, man. I mean, later on, get a welder or something, you can always take your rivets or your screws back out and spot weld it in. I still got some more to cut out here. I'm going to cut up probably about right in here across and get rid of all that shit right there, man. So I'm going to have a little bit of bending to do. And plus, you want to make sure that you get your pan right down here by your floorboard and shit, because if you get your floor pan laying in there and it's not laying good and flat, and it's not got the shape in it that it did around the gas pedal, your gas pedal ain't gonna go down all the way to the floor, man. That's gonna stop it, and that could cause you some horsepower, man. So that's pretty critical, trying to get that, you know, the right shape right up in here. Mine's got like a curve in it, which you probably can't see. It's got a little bit of a bow in it, so I'm trying to get that. It's not, you know, especially if you got a aftermarket floor pan that's made for this car that you can just bring in here and lay it down in there and weld it in, that's fine. But if you're a poor boy like me and you got to make your own, this is the way to do it. So I'm gonna get back to work and finish cutting this pan out and getting it fitted. Once I get it fitted, and then I'll come back and we'll get the tacking on it, and then probably move back over to the other side. Okay, I've got pretty much all the floorboard I'm gonna cut out. I got cut out except for this right in here. I think I'm gonna go ahead and chop that off, and I'm gonna add about 1 inch to the pan, because I really just don't trust it. I think it's a little thin there, so I think I'm just gonna cut it off, because I know I'll burn through it with the welder. What you want to do now is go ahead and take your wire wheel or a grinding pad or something, and you want to clean up all this rust and get all your metal clean and everything. I've pretty much got my pan set to go. Let me set this down here for a second. Alright, I've been beating and cutting and drilling and everything on this pan, and pretty much got the shape that I want out of it. Still got a little more bending here and there and do on the edges and stuff like that. Right now it's laying in there pretty good. I think I'm gonna, if I try to weld to this, it's just so pitted and shit, man, that I'm just gonna burn through it. So I'm gonna take some of that construction board I had, same thing I did use to trace the floor pan out, and just make me some templates. What I'm gonna do is I'm probably just gonna cut this out right here, and then come along right here, and that's as far as I'm gonna go up with it, because all this up in here is good and solid and shit. So, and I'm gonna butt weld that all together instead of spot welding everything. I'm gonna spot weld the pan down, but all this is gonna have to be butt welded. And also, one thing you need to remember, you really get this pan laying as flat, and you want to get laying flat to your edges. I mean, you want to lay it, you don't want no gap in between your pan and, you know, the other part of your floor. You want that laying right flat on top of each other, so you want to make sure that you get it bent right to where it will all lay, you know, like down flat and even and everything. So, because it's critical with your gas pedal, because if you ain't got this laying down flat like it needs to be, then your gas pedal's not going to be able to go down, you know, and hit the floor all the way like it's supposed to, and it could stop your gas pedal and rob you of some horsepower. So, and this has got like a funny shape to it right in here, so that's why I left that in there. And you can see on the pan here, I just chopped off the edge, so that's not even going to get in the way, because, you know, last thing I want to do is rob this thing of any horsepower or anything, so that's going to be left alone. So you want to go, when you do that, man, you want to go up under the car, you want to get the pan set, you know, exactly where you're going to put it and everything. And then go up under the car, you want to look around for any gaps, and if you got any gaps and nothing's laying flat or anything, then you want to fix that. You want to hammer it down, and don't be scared to kind of, you know, if you have to tweak on the floor a little bit or something, say, you know, this ain't coming over far enough, well, grab a hold of it, you know, and pull it over a little bit. It's not gonna, you know, hurt anything really. I mean, you ain't gonna be able to pull over on it too much, but if you got a gap here, and if say the bottom of this is what's causing the gap, then, you know, you can bend up on this to fill your gap in. So make sure you do all that before you go start welding shit in. Make sure that you got it, you know, exactly like you want it, and in the right amount and spots and everything, because once you start welding, you know, you're stuck, man. Not unless you want to go and drill your welds back out and pretty much screw your pan up and shit. So just, you know, go up underneath the car, man. Make sure you get all this, you know, laying flat and even. You can see right here that I've not got that, you know, there's still a little bit of a gap there. It's laying flat right here. And you see where I can make my pie cuts and everything too. I've got them all flattened out and they're even with each other now, so all I gotta do is go in with some weld and I can fill them pie cuts in. And then I'm gonna go around and I'm probably gonna do a weld about every inch. I'm gonna mark, you know, where I'm gonna weld at with a Sharpie and drill all my holes and everything before I lay my pan and everything down, and then make sure my pan's laying good and flat. Take a wire wheel, clean all the edge of this shit up, man. I'm actually thinking about adding an inch to the back of the pan right here and cutting this off. I don't know. It's like in some places it might be a little thin. I'm scared I'll probably burn through it. So I figured this would be easier if I just go ahead and just cut that out, and I can go ahead and add a piece to the pan and then come back with it. Come back like right in here with it. Which means I'm going to have to remove this mount. This mount can stay, but this one's going to have to be taken out. So I'm gonna get to doing that. I'm gonna try to set this up and show you as much as I can. Basically, you really want to get, all this, man. You want to get all this rust up. You got to go in there with the grinding wheel first. I'm gonna go over it with a wire wheel and try to clean it up as good as possible, and then if it's still, showing rust, I'm gonna go over it with a grinding wheel. Make sure I got a good clean surface. You always want a good clean surface to weld to, man. You don't want a fucked up weld, man. So I'm gonna get back here to cleaning on this, and I probably got to add a piece to this, so I shall return.